In the 16th century, a man was sentenced to death at the court of the King of France. He had crossed boundaries others feared to approach. Each time, though, he had been allowed to live. Until the day one of his jokes finally crossed the line. The condemned man was the king's court fool. His name was Triboulet. Renaissance courts were built on hierarchy and proximity. Access to the king meant influence, but it also meant risk. Power distorts information, so the closer someone stands to a ruler, the more dangerous honesty becomes. Flattery spreads. Silence becomes survival. That is why many European courts kept an official fool. Not simply for amusement, but as a permitted exception. The fool existed outside the hierarchy, and because of that, moved within it more freely. Because he was not taken fully seriously, he could often say what others could not. A jester known as Triboulet is recorded at the French court in the late 15th and early 16th centuries, associated with Louis XII and Francis I. Contemporary descriptions suggest he was physically deformed, a condition that likely reinforced his marginal status and made him appear less threatening. He was a court fool with unusual access and unusual license. That license did not mean protection. It lasted only as long as the ruler allowed it. The fool's power came from ambiguity. An insult could pass as entertainment. Criticism could hide inside absurdity. If challenged, it was only a joke. This made the jester useful. He could cross boundaries that rank forbade. He could say what others only whispered. On one occasion, he reportedly mocked one of the Francis I's favorite mistresses, a dangerous move in a court where such women held real influence. The king tolerated it. But tolerance was conditional. It rested on mood, ego, and political climate. Triboulet's sharp tongue finally crossed the line. During a court gathering, he struck the king, slapping Francis I on the backside, expecting laughter. The room froze. The king demanded an apology. Triboulet tried to recover with a joke. "Forgive me, Your Majesty. I did not recognize you. I thought you were the queen." The insult was worse than the act. Francis I ordered the jester executed. Yet after years of loyal service, the king offered him one mercy. He could choose how to die. Triboulet replied calmly, "Then, sire, I choose to die of old age." The court burst into laughter. The king spared him. Absolute power produces fear. Fear restricts honest speech. People begin to protect themselves, not by speaking truthfully, but by speaking safely. Over time, power hears less truth and more agreement. And systems cut off from truth become fragile. They misjudge, they overreach, they lose perspective. At the French court, that distortion had a release valve, a fool named Triboulet. Through humor, he could mirror the king's own decisions back to him, exposing risk without direct accusation. But that permission is conditional. When power no longer tolerates it, it grows blind. Centuries later, Triboulet survives in literature and opera, the enduring image of the truth-telling fool. Thank you for staying with me until the end. This channel is about the forces that shape our world. If you want to keep exploring them, subscribe.